Ooh. So here we are on a Sunday night. About to start adding some colour to a lovely, happy little home. And a commission here that is just going to just need that little bit of colour. Just thinking there. Try and add, I just noticed there was a bit of an important line that was missing. We're just waiting for people to come online here. So as soon as people come online, then we can at least start to chat a little bit, which would be good. Don't know what time of the world it is wherever you are. It is 7:30 here in Northern Ireland. Just taking a little bit of time to add in and just add in a few little bits and pieces of detail here. Now the only other thing that I want to do is add in a cable here and draw that line down to meet there. Tremendous. Good evening, Judith. How are you? How was your trip away? Now, what we'll do is use this is one for the Windsor Newtons. We have 5 people online. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Just about to add a little bit of colour to this one. This is with the Windsor Newtons. So I'm sure it was absolutely fantastic. I can't even imagine what it would be like just turn down Route 66. It just sounds fantastic. Drats, that's just popped up. I need to drive to town. Guess I catch the return. Hey Dan. No problem. It's an ad. It's an ad hoc YouTube live. Oh, jeepers. I just discovered I was painting in the painting that I did there of Botanic Gardens on Friday. There's some grass in my palette from the sitting taking it all in. Normally I clean the palette, but getting a bit lazy in my old age. Right, nice fresh place to start. So this is a commission, and bye Dan. This is a commission, so I am just about to start adding a little bit of colour. And it's nice and warm in the studio, so hopefully I can get some layers going here, and I want to just take my time and enjoy adding the colour to this one using the Aquafine brush, the pointed wash, which is just, I'm falling more and more in love with it as I use it. I want a really, really nice, I was going to say pungently blue sky, but maybe pungent is too negative a word. Really, really rich blue sky is what I'm going for. So just using this cerulean blue. I love a cerulean blue. So do share, what are you up to? Are you like me, you doing some painting this evening? Or, well, clearly you're watching YouTube, so you must be doing something that is quite nice, unless you're in work and it's a ways and a means of keeping yourself slightly amused. It's a lovely evening here. It's really, really pleasantly warm. Hence the shorts are on. I'll not give you a close up of that. And this is just a cerulean, simple straight cerulean blue. I think by accident I maybe took a little bit of the phthalo blue from the pan that's beside that one. I'm just going to leave in those little gaps, and as you can see where you pressing in, it just gives you that nice effect that it's there's a little bit of modelling to the sky. I'm standing up, and I'm standing up because I want to be able to read the comments, but also it will absolutely affect the way that I'm going to paint. So you're just relaxing. Judith says just relaxing, gardening all day, the joys of having been away for 3 weeks. Yeah, there's such a catching up really with gardening, isn't there? And I have to say it's one of those things that I don't really love about returning home. So I just noticed a couple of bits of detail here I want to try and capture. Just I used really continuous line for this. And that this is a 0.5 brush. So it's lovely and light and fine, which is just really going to work. I've been given quite a lot of latitude with this commission, and I am very hopeful that they will really enjoy what I've done with this and kept it nice and loose. So also just noticed there's a seat in there. The thing I love about continuous line is that this gives you a lot of freedom, and you feel like this permission to be able to just really enjoy the line work, which is really, really nice. Nice to be able to do. Now, these here, this line here. I'll be back up to read any comments and things just in a wee second. Just adding in, got that area there. Just giving the suggestion. Some of these areas of brick. Now this is, I just really wanted to try and touch in a little bit of that. Sorry, I'm not speaking very much at this point just because I want to try and capture a little bit of this. Just very, very roughly. Really want to keep this commission really nice. Really, really nice and loose. Now, sorry, I'm trying to get my charger to work, which it's decided it doesn't want to. There we go, power's on, tremendous. Okay, so questions, comments? Do jump in, people. Now, I'm going to use, I never use white apart from when I am trying to get a little bit of the tone of a building. So the white will go into this and a touch of so white and yellow ochre. So latest paintings, everybody. What have you been working on? What are you going to work on? I was up in the mornings yesterday, so I am expectant that that's going to crop up somewhat in the next little while as I begin to think about what I'm going to add to the paintings that I've been doing before. When I was up Cave Hill there at Easter time, then I spent a bit of time just painting more and more of that of up on Cave Hill, and I love that when you come away. You just take the opportunity. I take loads and loads of photos, and then just over time, just work my way through the ones that kind of catch my eye. So Judith, you were doing the morns. Were you up in the morns or in that general area, or were you just painting it? Was it a commission for someone, or do you share? I have to say I've missed you at the class. Okay, so thing is with the continuous line as well, I find it brings just a nice loose feel to the entire painting, which is just a lovely thing. Now this is going to need to dry a bit, which is fine. I can actually see some of that drying already. That's incredible. Plopping everywhere. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to go to, I'm going to change Will I change brushes? I might actually keep the brush the same. I'm really enjoying using this. Something about standing up using this brush. It's just a really, really nice brush to use. Now I want to try and get this colour of the windows. Windows always amaze me because they really vary in colour so very much. So this is all first layer, so not gonna worry too much. So remember, I'm forever talking about, if you've never heard me before then you won't remember, but I'm forever talking about the ugly phase. That when you really are starting something. Hello Penny, just get in from watering the tomatoes. I take it, is it midday there or morning? Are you in America if I remember right? Right, so this is a really interesting colour. So this is the living room down here, and the living room has a really rich kind of brownie tones. Dan picking up 12.5 pounds of fermented honey for mead. All the things we all do. It's fascinating, isn't it? The hobbies that we'll have. It sounds like painting's just one of them as well. So I'm mixing a really rich brown for the fermented honey. I could ask a lot of questions. And I'm gonna squeeze that. The good thing about the pointed wash is you can actually squeeze out squeeze out the, can't get my words, the watercolour that you have sort of still in the brush, and then it becomes this tremendous hoover. And this means then that you can also mix in other colours without it pulling on you, you know. Picked lettuce to have with their tea too. Brilliant. I was so into gardening, and where I'm standing now is where I had my greenhouse, and in the greenhouse I had a grapevine, and the grapevine did really, really, really well, and the fruit was, it needed to mature a little bit more for the fruit to be kind of palatable, but the person who this commission is for actually had made jam out of the grapes as well, which was pretty cool. But I found a home for the grapevine, and I have zero interest in gardening now because I'm just so consumed with painting, which is just tremendous. So I don't miss it at all. Dan Bolton, it was left over by a beekeeper. Tastes like mead already. I think I had pears roasted in mead, which was just quite delicious, really. Maybe that's a very common thing to do. Can't say I know much about mead now, but I wish I could have the palette that I'm using sort of in sight, but I can't fit it all on. So it's this kind of brick it's like, that's the same kind of color I would mix for slate on a roof. For some reason it's a ready tone. The only thing about this aquafine brush is it tends to cast every so often. Gotta drive. Bye for real, Dan. So these are all layer one that I'm doing. It still is amazing to me how it seems to be quite unknown about the, you know, watercolor. I think for it doesn't, I always keep saying this, I'm always saying it, but watercolor forces your hand on patience. All right, Bonnie. Sell yourself there. Bonnie's giving off. Can't even imagine what it is that she sees. Now I'm going to use the colour that I had mixed for there. I'm going to turn it into the chimney stack colour. That's a little bit too reddy. We're going to brown it down. Brown it down. And then I think I add a little Payne's Grey to that too. It's actually richer than it. I think it needs Payne's Grey, or not Payne's Grey. So we're doing the pendulum swing mix here to try and find this colour of the chimney. It's like I don't know the names as well of this palette now, but it is like an Indian kind of red that I'm adding in here. So I'm just going to squeeze this out to see are we anywhere near the colour that we're looking for. So yeah, I think we're okay. Now we'll need to darken it down by layer layer 2 or 3, I would think. Now I'm thinking that the pointed wash is maybe coming towards the extent of its limit for me here, and so I'm going to do the dab and grab on the chimney because I think it's lying too thick, and as rich as it might be, we could be waiting an awfully long time now. That could be alright, but just going to lift it a bit there, hoover up a bit there, hoover up a bit there too. Okay, I'm happy that it's pulling down here. So the other thing that I want to do is begin to add in now. Right, let's switch brushes because it's just too clunky for me now. We're going to the trusty 3/4 inch flat wash, Simply Dale Rowney, fantastic little brush. So Penny, I agree. It is better on the chimney. It was just too thick, wasn't it? And it was just pulling on me. So the door that she has is this beautiful pinky door. So dead easy to find colour wise. So I'm just using the corner of the flat edge brush there to give that kind of, it has this kind of faux paneling. It's one of those PVC doors, but it was painted to give it that wonderful colour. So again, layer 1, and also underneath that, so I think I'm going to add in, just get in some of the greens here now. Oh, what's that? Jeez. Honest to goodness, you see? See painting outside? Look, there's a bit of leaf. What the heck? Can you believe that? Because you probably can. It was what? I don't even think it was that windy that on Friday whenever I was painting in Botanic. Did you see the Botanic? Let's do shameless. I was really quite pleased with it. Part of me thought about would I add another layer in, but I'm not going to because I think I just want to leave it there for the plein air. Right, back to this one. So the greens, get a base layer of the greens in here for the beautiful foxgloves. Digitalis, the very dangerous and very poisonous Digitalis, you don't really want in your garden if you have small children. But it's okay if you don't, really. Okay, so just gonna... So this is where the technique of layering up really works, because you're effectively just, you know, adding some marks and things in. And, you know, if you can see it, I'm starting to make that kind of a shape, starting with that corner, just pressing up and lifting. So corner pressing, lifting. Brush is doing an awful lot of the work for me, so I'm not having to you know, try and, not that I would want to do every leaf, but what I mean is, just is a effective way of building that up. And capturing those little bits of details. Now that's not dry there, so I just need to be super duper careful that I'm not gonna let it all bleed. I'm not a fan of the bleed. I know that some people absolutely adore and build their watercolour practice really on wet on wet. I'm not a fan of wet on wet. Not a fan at all. Each to their own. That right? Each to their own. So this will start to provide really basically a little bit of structure for the other, sorry, I'm just focusing as I do that, the other layers as they grow. So we've got 16 people on, so do share, what are you up to tonight? Can't be all me waffling. Please feel free to waffle your little fingers off in the comments. I would love to read them. Let me know what you're up to with your Sunday. I am currently home alone apart from Bonnie, isn't that right? Bonnie's completely sparked out on the little rug. The studio's lovely and warm, nice and quiet, and I've got you guys over. Thank you to everybody who's been commenting, watching, subscribing. It's been quite a ride and incredibly encouraging, so do you know that you're making a real difference to a human and his family, so all your watches add up, and it is very, very much appreciated, so thank you so much. Can't say that enough. I'm just going to use the straight line of the brush to be able to, I can't go over there, sorry I didn't finish my sentence there, to be able to, Colin, what's Colin able to do? To be able to create like a bit of a stock where the digitalis, look at that, it's pretty cool, isn't it? You see what happened there? That's a wee new technique to figure out, so let me see if I can pick a little bit of area and show that one off again. That was great. So just adding in the marks up. Bing! There it is. Jeepers, I must do a wee YouTube short on that one. So just starting to build up this impression of that this is a kind of a rich and full garden here, and there's lots going on. Really want that to come across, because it's just such a lovely rich garden, so that's an important part of this that I want to gather together. Penny said being out in the garden today, catching up after out of action with the back pain. So I take it that means that the back pain must have lifted somewhat, so that's really good to hear. I'm going to need to change my water. It's not very often you need to do that, but you can hear it being checked out. Oh. So what about the rest of you? the silent 11 or sometimes 16 or 7 as it was a little bit earlier. What are the rest of the 11 of you that it says are watching this? So what are you up to? Do share. Don't be shy now. Trying to mix this tone again for the... I lost it. Completely lost it. So we shall lift that colour. I went for it's the Blue Black Beyond Payne's Grey, and I do not know what the name of it is, but it's pretty cool, but I just added in too much of it, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of lamp black this time, just for that. A bit of thread stuck there. Aurora 10. What the heck is this? Let me see. Let's not be bothered with that. Huh? Monica, watching you making a birthday card for a friend. Very good. Cleaning up mess from oil pastels. Tremendous. Loving this. I need to make that a little bit more. Bonnie's just decided to go up on the seat there and get herself comfortable. Taking her place. Now don't you be giving off, Bonnie. Now come on. Hey, stop it, you. I do have to apologise for Bonnie. She is normally quite well behaved, but clearly tonight she is not in the mood for such things. Just trying to figure out, is this dry now? I think I could add in some black there to the top. So what about the rest of you? Come on, what are you doing? I assume that it's not nighttime for everybody. So no doubt some of you are just maybe, well, we'll have people out in the garden. Dan was away to collect fermented mead, as you do. Or is that what he was away to do? Not sure. Judith, you were just relaxing to the sounds of things after being out in the garden all day. Penny was out in the garden, you were picking lettuce, weren't you? Multitasking, Monica. Yes, indeed. Just listening to me waffle in the background. So it is exam season in our house, so we have two children working very hard on their exams. Do love them. Helping where I can. Please ignore the small dog giving off in the background. This house has some lovely, very simple kind of black trims in it, which just really adds to everything. I don't know. I can't risk going around the frame around that window there is black, but I can't risk going around that because it is too... Yeah, you're right, Judith. Fermented honey for mead. And Monica, you're in America, rainy day here. Whereabouts in America are you, Monica? Okay, so probably need to just wait for a little bit now to let different bits and bobs dry. It's probably layer one in its totality, as much as we're likely going to get done until certain other areas dry, but thankfully, as I said, it is quite, do you know what I will do? I'll use the wet on wet for underneath there to let the shadow graduated, so let's encourage it. Remember, this is layer 1. So actually when I go to do more layers of the black, then it should really start to pop. Nebraska, oh very good. The only place, I've been in the States, I've been to Atlanta and Georgia, and I've been to Phoenix, and I was in Phoenix about 8 times. Got to know the layout of Arrowhead Mall pretty well, which was pretty cool. Sadly haven't been in a long time now, but absolutely brilliant place to be. Okay, so the other thing then I can continue to do here is add in more with the greenery down at the bottom. Get this garden really built up. So I think I have now, I own the fact that it takes time to really build up watercolors. So I'm not expecting things to happen really quickly, and it is layer on layer. So I'm just gonna keep layering up here. So this is really a semi-abstract interpretation of this garden in this house. I've used continuous line to keep it lovely and free. Bonnie, would you stop giving off? That'll be big. Is it those other dogs barking? Is that what the problem is here? Bonnie! If you could only see her, she's lying there like Queen Bee. Oh! Now we're going to have to put you out. Okay. So you're going to have to bear with me while I pop Bonnie out here. One Bonnie deposited back in the house where she can no longer cause serious distraction. So I am looking at doing more videos with different products and things. Been really enjoying doing that, and also it's they've been really well received, it seems. So any suggestions that you have of different things that we can look at. One thing I was asked today was about using the graphite pencil and adding gouache. Now gouache is actually something that I have never used before, so I was thinking I better up my game and get and start to get myself a set of gouache. Also this weekend Toby and I are in Bath together, so we have a great store called Lidl here, and I managed to pick up luggage today, I was quite amazed by that. Actually just had exactly the right size as well for the EasyJet flight, so hopefully that will all go well. I'm really looking forward to that, and this is the first time that I've ever met Toby as well, so that's going to be interesting too. Not interesting, I'm really just looking forward to meeting him. Called the guy, so that'll be fun. I can't figure out whether that is an owl in the back or whether that is a small child having a serious amount of fun. Just noticing, just wanted to add just a little tiny bit of detail because there's this lovely light pastel-y blue on the fence, so just using that 0.05 unit pen to add that in. Jeepers, you've all gone incredibly quiet. I rely on these lives for engagement. Never a dull moment with the internet, eh? So keep asking you to share and tell me what you've been painting and anything you'd like to see. Is it a product review or is it more me just enjoying using them? Maybe it's a bit of both. But anything you would like to see, do share. Okay, so I'm going to try and mix. Actually is, I think, a slightly almost lilac-y colour on. Yeah, it actually is. What's the colour there? It's a lilac-y colour on this. On the fence. And also on the mini type pergola. That kind of a colour on the little wooden structure that has the wee seat underneath. I think that's maybe a little too. Might add in just a little bit more of that through one hand. Too much. I'm using the same red as I used for the door to kind of calm it down a little bit. So 17 of you now watching this is great. I'm just having to waffle away here in my own regard. So do share. Tell me what you're up to. What do you think of the portrait so far? The house portrait, house commission. Do you like that sort of a style? Do you prefer a style that's much more tight? I mean, actually, I find that continuous line really does let you, it just lets you kind of enjoy being able to, get colours on, and I certainly find it much easier to work bigger whenever I'm working in that with that style of drawing. It just lets me get the perspectives right, and I just really enjoy it. It's great. I'm very aware. This area here, so the blue, I think excuse me. I was up very early this morning. I'm going to add in, I think it's that similar kind of a blue in those pots there. We'll maybe pick up on those pots a little bit later. Might add in, go for that really sunshine, kind of almost fancy yellow here to add in on the corner. The reason that I'm doing that is there's a light source in there. So just want to give a nod to that being there. Apparently, first time I heard of one line drawing was from Toby. Now I'm a great fan. Oh, I know, it's absolutely fantastic. It is incredibly liberating, and just I think the more confident you get in using it, it just is such a wonderful tool. It's just so enjoyable to use, and it just frees you up, which is just absolutely tremendous. And I think we all, it's something that I find you have to really work on as well, so that you don't retreat back into the restriction of everything having to be perfectly in proportion. I actually think I draw better with continuous line. I do think my proportions are probably better with it, which is a little bit ironic, but I think it is true. I've used this, it's a quinacridone. Really want it to pull, so I'm gonna. Oh, it's not coming up. The flat edge brush doesn't hold it as well as certainly the Aquafine brush does. So really, we're just waiting. Oh, here, that's dry. Oh, that's good. That means then we can add in a little bit of depth to the door. I might switch down to a smaller brush, or I might see how we go. Now I just want to add in the base. It's too bluey. Add in the base colour for the wee window here. Okay, we'll switch down to a smaller brush. Prefer loose with filling than tight and right. If I want realism, I can take a photo. Not saying tight is wrong, just yeah, no, I totally agree. Okay, so just deleting a couple of unhelpful messages here. There they go. The joys of lives, eh? Okay, so we're just getting the black of for a little bit of detail on this part of the little shelter that's over the front door. This is where it gets awkward because you're trying to not dip your hand in areas that are dark, or not dark, or still wet. Just letting it build. You almost need one of those, you know, the sticks that they put across that you can lean on. So that's obviously still completely wet, so I'm not going to go near that. And this is still wet here, and we've got some nice cauliflowers and things emerging out of that, which I really like because I want that to look like it's, you know, nearly reflecting the sky, so I'm happy about that. Now, I don't really want to go over this whenever this is wet, and then there's a danger of me leaning on top of it and smudging some of the work that I've done. So I'm just going to take a bit of pigment off the brush. Just going to need to use the corner here, just to touch down there where the little letterbox is. I love getting in those little details. That's still wet, so we can't go near that. We've still got around this area here is risky too because of how wet it is as well. So what we could do is go right back up to the top here. So Penny says, I think doing one line drawing lets me give more feeling to the sketch, or at least I try. Yeah, I think that's probably right. You know, I find that there's a lot more individuality in the continuous line. And also that style of drawing then influences how I add the watercolour too, truth be told. Because you're kind of in that zone where it's nice and loose and just playing about a little bit more, and it wouldn't suit to have it really, really tight if you were adding in what I'm trying to say, if you were you know, keep it really, really tight with the watercolour, adding in the colour, so it's enjoyable. Okay, so this is dry up here, this is dry up here too, so we can actually then add in the nice dark bits to the chimney at the top here. Okay. going to use the side of the brush there, and then that'll let me add in just little tiny bits of detail, especially on the side here, just where I want to highlight in certain areas. Okay, so I'm going to mix it a little bit darker for this side. Trying to get a little bit of the detail here. I'm going to weaken that down a little bit, and then I can just make a suggestion of just a little tiny bit of brickwork. Needs to be a little bit darker than that. Just tried it out on that side there. So the other thing is the grey part, called the lead flashing, where they add those round on the top of the chimney. So and then I've got the very top of the chimney as well. Just adding it to the top. Okay, there we go. Tina G. Ever tried Japanese Gangsai Tambi watercolors? No, never. Although, no, I think actually Judith had some of them. I think I tried them. Love them. Weird borders, make them watercolor. Virgin de Gouache. I think, if Judith, if you're still on, I think you let me try them one night, and they were really quite interesting. I absolutely love hearing about all of the different types of watercolor, and it was like whenever I did that on the Derwent ink tints, they're just fascinating. All of these different mediums and mixes of mediums, and we had the serious, seemingly ongoing debate about well, not debate, Derwent ink tints are ink pigment, but they are released by water and are described as watercolor by Derwent, but in some ways I could get into trouble here because I'm saying in some ways I think that's practically semantics, but it's just so enjoyable playing about with all these different media. Just mixing various shades of green here to make it deeper at different points. Judith, you said it was the graphite ones I bought, the 48 set colors so vibrant. Yes, that's what it was. They were ridiculously vibrant, quite shocking almost. I had ordered from Scrawlerbox, nice SCRAWLR box, Scrawlerbox, and they have a really quite a unique thing. Well, I thought it was unique anyway, in that they send you like nearly a mystery box every month, and you have different watercolors, or not, sorry, you have different art supplies in it, so you never really know what you're going to get. It's like the Forrest Gump quote, never know what you're going to get. Anyway, I had it for a couple of months, and then what they sent was something with very kind of pinky, what I would class as girly colours, and I really wasn't that kind of fussed. And if it was just, there's bound to be somewhere that would do like it's just like a watercolor supply getting you to try different watercolors, which would be just absolute. I would absolutely love that if you knew that you were just going to get watercolors, different types of watercolors and brands, and you know, I just really enjoy playing around with all those things. So if anybody knows of any supplier that does like a monthly supply, you know, where you get a monthly supply of different types or brands of watercolor, let me know. Maybe a good business idea for somebody as well. There's bound to be a market out there. Us watercolorists are a passionate bunch. So I'm just mixing it's like a hooker's kind of green with the sap green, some burnt umber or raw, I think it's burnt umber, and just a little touch of phthalo blue, to build up these layers here. And I love that about the way that you can do this with watercolor. I know I've said that many times in this video, but it just is so very cool. And also the layering, it's all about the layering. I mentioned that ever before. The patience of layering. Tina G graphites, they are way wicked for grungy dark illustrations. Take G. Sounding like a teenager here. Way wicked. Or what do you call them? Bill and Ted. It was very Bill and Ted of you there. Totally, dude, totally. Rad, now there's a word you don't hear very much. Now the most common word that I hear all the time is vibe. Everything's a vibe. You vibing with me, dude? It doesn't work as well in the Northern Irish accent. Vibe. I'm just having great fun with this. Undergrowth here, and can you see this is starting to dry around here too? Canada. I wish I could paint like that. I actually would be confident that you could. It just is simply about building up, mixing colours, and building up is layering up. But that's kind. Thanks, Canada. I take it you're from Canada. James McAway, I used him to do one of the stepping stones in Tullymore. Yes, I can see how that would work. I with my deep love for muted palettes, I think I would find I just don't love, you know, terribly vibrant colours. I don't really use them very much. I had a suggestion from someone to use more of my vibrant tones, but I just like the tones that I use. I mean, if needs be, I'm happy to use them, but you know, in Northern Ireland we don't have a whole heap of vibrant. Do you have lovely greens and browns and blues and greys, and I like that. Greens and browns and blues and greys. So there's lovely rich pinks and like sherbet yellow foxgloves along here that I'm going to try and get in. Take G says, I may be knocking on a bit. Falling apart in my bones. But his head's still many years behind. I remember my mum saying that. She always said that, you know, she didn't really change in terms of how she felt inside from about being 25 or 20, whatever it was, in her 20s. But the body just got older. So I can understand that a bit. I'm 44, so I'm not really knocking on that much. I want to keep going with it. I'm knocking on that, not knocking on that much. But I like that turn of phrase. Thanks, Tink. Is it very ASMR to hear a palette being mixed? Maybe not. only really discovered what ASMR is. So I'm just trying out my newfangled words. Love trying out new words. Okay, right. So I think what I'm going to do very, very soon is, no, it's still very, very much wet up and around here. Could add another layer of black to that top line there. So I think I shall do that. The other thing that I really like to do whenever you're dealing with a house that is sandwiched between other houses is to give just that little bit of information here and here that it's connected. So it's very much not in isolation, but actually you then focus on that area and obviously are not adding colour, but some of the splashes and things, and very deliberately, you know, spilt over ever so slightly, but really the focus is this area. So you know that it's in context because you've got lines that continue on beyond the boundary line of the house that you're doing, but it's in context. And I, from my point of view, find that, I think that that's really pretty important, which is why I do it. Monica R at Tig, I like the Ganza Tambi watercolours also. Tig G at Canada, don't wish, try. I simple shapes, objects, play. Even if you just load a brush with colour and swish it about a bit, see what it does. Yeah, you know, I totally agree. The biggest enemy to not doing painting is believing that you can't do it. So just jumping in and doing it is definitely the way to go. Trying to very carefully keep my arm from dumping in here. Where would we be without a flat edge brush, honestly? Where would we be? Okay, so that's still very much wet around that side. That's wet there. Now this is quite dark along here as well, so can we add a little bit of, weaken this down a bit. Penny Hewitt, yes, play. Take G, exactly. I give my students the Yoda speech. I was watching that yesterday. I take it you mean from The Empire Strikes Back, where he says there is no try, there is only do. Okay. Just gonna chin this little line here. There we go. And we've got more of that. Now to try and mix. Try not to or do not. There is no try. That's it. That's it. Monica R. They say practice makes perfect. I think what practice does is it lets you realize that perfect is doing it the way that you do it, really, and accepting the way it goes, and also, you know, the bit about learning to let watercolor dry and then layer up. I've always done it that way, and I see so many people get frustrated because they're not letting it dry, and it's not, watercolor's not acrylic or oil, it works completely differently. So knowing those little things, getting a bit more confident with mixing colors, and it just, those little things make a massive difference. Take G, you got it, Colin. How you do it, find your own hobby. It's, you know, I don't really know anyone that is ever, as a painter, who is 100% satisfied with their stuff all the time. But you have to embrace the way that you paint, because that is the way that you paint, and there are always others who are going to say, I wish I could paint like that person, paint like you, and you're rejecting the very way that you paint. It's not, life's too short, so just enjoying what you do, and sharing it with others, I think, is good stuff. Hence I'm on here. I think I found another bit of botanic gardens in my palette there. Who knew that on Friday there was quite so much flinging about in the air into my little watercolour set. Okay, so I've tried to mix a similar colour for this part that I hadn't done of the... That's okay, I'm alright with that. Pathway, so what I'm going to do is, because inevitably with every kind of a pathway, there, you know, over time it gets kind of covered with the dirt and things, so I want to weaken that down a wee bit more. Okay, so then that should give a little bit more. Just trying to inform that little bit. And as I would build that up in layers again, that's going to hopefully become more and more effective. Hopefully. You can also let that pull. So there's two ways of doing shadows with watercolour. You can either add a darker tone, or you can use a thicker version of the or layer up actually the same colour, and it'll give you a shadow as well, which is quite a nice way to do it sometimes. I just love the variety of lines that you can get with a flat edge brush. It's just pretty darn remarkable. Okay, so what I'm going to do is get another bit of this pink door rock on here. So it's the same colour, just letting the layers build here. The thing that I want to do with that is let that splatter a little bit now. See where that has gone just over the bounds that I want it to, because it's still dry. No, because it's still wet. Then the dab and grab is very much still in play, so I can just lift it. I definitely want it splattering across here, but I didn't want it going too far up. So the other thing I want to do is take the beloved little sword brush, which is great for any sort of a detail, and it really doesn't hold, you know, it's not going to hold masses of paint either, so you can kind of do the detail bits with some measure of confidence. I wanted a wee bit more darker than that, so it is so good for the details, honestly. Thoroughly recommend having a. It's not a brush that I use heaps and heaps like. But for those little details that others are probably not gonna notice too much, they'll be important for the individual whose house it is. So you've gone all quiet again on me. Okay, we're nowhere near actually. And even up here, goodness, it's still wet. See, the problem with this bit at the top here is because this area here is still wet, then it means that I can't. Well, I probably could. I was gonna say I can't, but I probably could. I really want to get that in because I think that that's really going to add to the overall feel of the house and really start to make it look like itself. So I'm not. Yep, there we go. Made it across. He made it. Thank you. Yowalak Kikanha. Hopefully I pronounced that well. Do you ever, Penny, do you ever use a dryer for drying paint? I don't. Sometimes I do, but I know that it does definitely dull the pigment, so I prefer not to. And you know, our weather's never that amazing here in Northern Ireland, so whenever it's slightly warmer like this, I'm just going to enjoy taking the time. And I actually, I mean, I love how much watercolour slows you down. So I'm really happy just to let it take its time here. And actually, what's lovely there is, as I went around the first line, because it was a thin layer of paint, it's actually dry, so you're actually getting a second layer there. It's incredible. Goodness. If this was 3 months ago, it definitely wouldn't work like that. Just checking the sleeve there wasn't wrecking what it done. Very good. Pleased with that. Pleased with the difference that line makes. I paused, did I? Oh, I don't know. So also the house has a bit of a line too. What do I want to do here? So this is now dry. This is dry as well. So and this is dry too. So I can actually add in. What I'm going to do first, because this has been drying well for me, is get the base of the pot in. Hanging basket pot. love that watercolor's waterproof when it's dry, practically waterproof. I mean, you can agitate it a little bit, but it's not really going anywhere, and I love that when it's dry you can really build up the layers. It just brings me a little bit of joy. TT stick takes some getting used to. Keep unwanted body parts off surface. Stick, yeah. It's true, isn't it? We've all done it. Where you lean on the wrong bit and you're like, no, no. But also, as we were talking about, accepting, just going with it and not, I refuse to rip up paintings. Just, it's not what I'm about. I don't think that it's necessary. So I don't do it, because if I began to rip up paintings, then I think I would rip up a lot more, and I don't want to start doing that. So just adding in. You believe we've been online here for, how long is it now? Well over an hour, isn't that crazy? So I'm going to love you and leave you all very soon. But I've still got another couple of minutes. I had mixed a little bit of blue in with the red there, but I wasn't loving it, so I just took it off the brush. Do it again. Looking good, thanks Penny, thank you. You said it's good to look back at our work and see how far we've come. Oh my goodness. It is so true, and I find that, there are ones that I loved at the time that now I think, Colin, actually you've got a lot better, and other ones that I didn't like at the time that I now look at and think that it's just really, really good. And I think that's all very healthy, and as it should be. Those little pops of colour, eh? Just add a little bit of something. A little something, something. Okay. So the pointing down of the digitalis. I have to say, it does help knowing how certain plants grow whenever you're doing anything botanical. Take G, haha, my own pretty get turned into collage fodder. Yeah, it is a good idea, Take. I've never really collaged them. So I haven't, it's not been something that I've ever tried. I've always been a little interested, but not as interested as it makes me want to do it, if that makes sense. Right. Time to weaken the pigment. Again, this is going to be one of many layers. I'm not in any rush by any stretch to finish this. So just really want to take my time and enjoy doing it. So the other thing I want to do, get this nice lemony. I think I can find it. If I can find a nice lemony yellow, that would be good. TG, you may find collage an eye opener as you have an illustrative style there. Yeah, I certainly do, don't I? And that, you know, that's also been something that's taken me years to figure out. So thanks for that. So you can see my approach here, and just wanting to continue to build it up. Now I'm going to go back to my greens. I'm loving doing the greens. I love it. Can't get enough of these greens. And there's a joy about mixing greens from the crazy psychedelic ones to the ones that look more believable, to the colours that you see in the garden, you know. And isn't it lovely the way watercolour dries, and just how it, you know, it changes when it dries. It doesn't go on the same as it, you know, it doesn't dry the same as it is applied. And I love how it has a hard edge when it dries, and it's just so different. Sounds like there's kids screaming and having a good bit of fun out here tonight. Just working way up a little here. Okay, well, let me see if I turn this. Just turn the thing around a little. Oh. Tighten it up. So thank you to everybody who came on tonight and took a bit of time. And let me turn this light around. It'll be not as dramatically terrible. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Nice to chat and nice to paint with some company. Thank you for your comments, and as always, thank you for watching. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, then please do so, because it makes a difference and it's great. So happy painting. Hope you maybe find something that you can use, and if you have any questions, do get in touch and ask them. So have a good rest of your morning, day or night, depending on where in the world you are, and bye for now. Bye.